Hello everyone. So it is Monday the 14th of April 2025. We're just finishing week 6 and this week it's all about money. Yeah. For people that don't know, each week when I do the Artist Way, you read the week's chapter as to set up your week, and then you might use the topic that comes up as a bit of a prompt to get into it. But basically, this week was talking a lot about money, and I've noticed even watching back some of my videos that I've recorded that I very often complain about money or the lack of money. And if you know me or you're good friends with me, you know that this comes up a lot, especially right now as kind of looking for a permanent job. I wouldn't describe my life as very abundant right now, and I often feel like I'm sort of living in a bit of a lack mindset rather than feeling sort of abundant. It's challenging because when you're sort of job hunting or not where you want to be financially, it can be difficult to not restrict yourself, and that's something that I'm constantly sort of trying to work on. What was super interesting this week is sometimes they have some sort of pre-exercises for the week. And one thing that it had was this exercise called Money Madness. And it was to complete the following phrases. I'm going to put it up on screen. So for example, people with money are, money makes people, I'd have more money if. And the idea was I was just writing these down without even thinking, with no filter of exactly what came up. And the results were terrifying. No wonder I have problems with money. Because my money psychology is a mess. I'm going to read some out because honestly, it's super negative. Money with people are toxic. Money makes people selfish. I'd have more money if I worked harder. Money is scary and hard to get. Money causes more problems. Having money is not easy. I think money is far away from me right now. Pretty much every sentence was negative, which was kind of eye-opening for me because I know that I have kind of a negative relationship with money sometimes, but this just really showed how deep in my subconscious things are quite bad related to money. So it was an interesting topic to get into this week. I want to read a quote out for you because I thought it was really interesting. It says, "All too often we become blocked and blame it on our lack of money. This is never an authentic block. The actual block is our feeling of constriction, our sense of powerlessness." So yeah, I don't know if anyone else is in the same situation as me, and sometimes it feels like you're not where you are financially and you know that you can't focus on that, but also it's also impossible to not dominate your decisions with that kind of mindset because you also need to be sensible with money. This part was super interesting. I want to read it to you to maybe help you to reflect a little bit as well. "In order to thrive as artists, and one could argue as people, we need to be available to the universal flow. When we put a stopper on our capacity for joy by anoretically declining the small gifts of life, we turn aside the larger gifts as well." So interesting because I mean, I've heard it so much when I've been talking with different people about how, it's really important to kind of think in abundant ways or not be thinking all the time with a lack mindset. And I guess it makes sense because if you're always saying no to everything and really closed off to everything, you can make yourself closed off to even bigger opportunities or things out there for you as well. It's still a challenge for me to kind of allow myself to sort of have luxuries or to spend money on myself. I find it easy to spend money on myself if it's an experience, like a trip or travel or something like that, but to actually buy things for myself, I find it still a bit challenging. And this process has kind of been teaching me as well that even the smallest thing can make you so happy. The other week I bought these from Dollar City. I love Dollar City, honestly. They're these little pens. They're double-sided, one's thick, one's thin. And nothing more exciting than a new pen. I think sometimes we think that when we have to indulge in luxuries that it has to be some huge purchase, like a new phone or a new sofa, or these things come to mind. But actually we can find luxury in small things. For example, when I bought this candle, you can see now we're still on red, but it's going down. But just taking the time to buy small things or do these small gestures for yourself because it's kind of a sense of self-care, and I don't know, it just changes your mindset a little bit. So yeah, I guess my question for you guys is are you putting a stopper on your capacity for joy? Are you limiting yourself because of your financial situation, which is fine, but can you find a way to introduce a small luxury in your life? For example, I don't know, buying like some special fruits at the supermarket, or buying the Greek yogurt that you always want, or I don't know, buying a new pen or a new notebook. It doesn't have to be this massive, huge expense, but something that will make a bit of a difference. I think it's something worth exploring because it helps you sort of feel better. One exercise we had this week was writing down everything we spend, which I've always wanted to do. I mean, I guess I have my bank app and you can see what you're spending. So what I did is I have like a Google sheet and just sort of like making a list of like different things that I spent money on. And it was sort of interesting. I mean, I don't know if it's a good activity for me to do because I feel like I'm already very conscious about what I'm spending at the moment. So it felt like it was putting even more of a magnifying glass on it. But I guess it was interesting. It recommended that you could do it for like a month just to kind of get an idea of your finances and where your money is going. Or at least I've been wanting to do this for a while to get an idea of like exactly how much my living expenses are, because I think sometimes we have an idea of how much we're spending, but we're kind of got our head in the sand and we don't really want to like face up to it. So yeah, I think I'm going to continue that a little bit, but I don't know, I still feel like I have a lot of money blocks or a lot of things that sort of like stop me from going for bigger things, or perhaps I don't think that I deserve to have a lot of money. I don't know, there's a lot of things that's been coming up. I did a really good meditation. I'm actually going to leave a link in the description. It's like 15 minutes of imagining some of these sort of like bad feelings that you have about money and like letting them go. And it was using this whole like visualization, and it was really interesting. I'm going to leave that for you in case you're interested as well. So something that came up in one of the exercises, it said, any new flow in your life, practice saying yes to freebies and gifts. And I would just like to shout out my beautiful friend Michelle, who bought me a gift this week. She got me this lovely Columbia football sort of top from Adidas. I think it's a special edition top, like celebrating 100 years. I might be wrong, I don't know, that's what I heard. And it's something that I always really wanted. And yeah, Michelle bought this for me this week when she was buying one for herself. And yeah, really like so nice. So morning pages, we have nearly finished this book. Can you believe it? I can't. I think I am actually going to finish this week. I haven't got that many pages left. That's a massive achievement. I mean, it's only 80 pages, but considering we've been going for like 6 weeks now, about halfway. Oh my God, I can't believe we're only halfway. I feel like I've been doing this forever, but anyway, we're going to keep going. This week for morning pages, it's felt a bit painful at times. I feel like I'm kind of like avoiding myself. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I'm fighting with myself to write, and I'm fighting with myself to even let anything come up. I don't know if I'm like hiding from something, or I don't know, I just feel some resistance. Some days I wanted to stop after like 2 pages. I've not been enjoying it as much this week, my morning pages. I'm not gonna lie, it feels more like a chore. Although one day I did go out to a coffee shop and I had a lovely brunch while doing my morning pages, and that was really nice. That felt like a little luxury to myself. I don't know, I just feel like you need to take yourself out, like by yourself. I think obviously it's really important to socialize, it's important to be with your friends, but it's also really important to do things just for you. I don't know, it just feels nice. So yeah, morning pages, I don't have much to say because I haven't really enjoyed it this week. Yeah. And my artist date, this week I didn't plan it. I did things and then I counted it as my artist date, which is not the point. Like for example, one day I was like, oh, I'm gonna do my mum's birthday video. She turned 70 this week. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna spend 2 hours writing the script and doing the video, and that's gonna be like my artist date. No, that's a task that I was gonna do. I feel myself always wanting to make this artist's date into something productive rather than just doing something for the sake of doing it. Another time I was baking and I was also like, oh, I'm gonna count the baking as my artist day, but it's not like planned, it's just like, sort of like an afterthought. The same with the morning pages. I was like, oh, I'll go to this place and have a coffee and something to eat and I'll write my morning pages and that will be my artist date. No, again, I'm like disguising something that I already need to do, making it a bit nice, and then saying, oh yeah, that was my artist date. So my challenge for this week, and I really hope that I do it, is that I actually properly plan my artist date and I do something, either like go to a gallery or sit in a park or do something. I'm hoping that I do that next week because I want to be a bit more intentional and do something just for the sake of doing it, not for any sort of productivity gain. So that's my plan for this week because I didn't really do my artist date this week. And some other things I'd just like to mention is we always talk about whether there's any synchronicity. That's something that we're supposed to reflect on each week. Well, I thought it was interesting that the week said about like be open to receiving gifts or freebies, and then I got my lovely present. That was nice. Another thing was I was speaking to my freediving teacher on Wednesday saying that I wanted to do this. So we have to do static apnea, is when you put your head down in the water and hold your breath just in a still position. And I find it very challenging. And I've been needing to do 2 minutes for a long time and I've been putting it off. I've always been avoiding the test. I'm going on a trip next month to the Pacific, and if I hadn't done the static before then, I would have to do it there. And whenever there's the pressure of having to do this test of putting your head in the water for like 2 minutes, I hate it. I don't know why, it's just something about it. So I actually said to my teacher, Lorena, I really want to do my static test before the trip because I just want to get it out of the way and I don't want to have to stress while I'm away. And she said, yeah, okay, that's fine, as long as when we say we're going to do it and it's going to be tomorrow that you actually do it, because normally I just run away from it. And then in the next day in the class, it was our other teacher, Jonathan, and he was like, today we're going to do static apnea. He did loads of exercises, and in the end we did as a class 1 minute, a minute and a half, and then 2 minutes. And I thought that they'd spoken to each other. I was like, oh, I bet she's told him to do this, and she hadn't. It was just a complete coincidence. And I did it. I actually did it, and it wasn't nice. It was challenging, but it was okay, and I did it. And now, I did 2 minutes 5 seconds, and that was really cool. Yeah, I felt really happy and really proud of doing that, because it was really mentally challenging for me. So yeah, that's basically it for today. I hope that you enjoyed my ramblings and reflections. I hope maybe that it gives you a chance to reflect maybe on your relationship with money, whether you can bring some luxuries into your life, and also if you have dealt with money blocks, or I don't know, if anything that I'm saying here resonates with you today. I would love to hear if you have any other resources or anything that has been useful for you to overcome some of these things. But yeah, anyway, I hope that you have a lovely week. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you have a lovely day.